Have you ever wondered why the Philippines is building a military base near Taiwan? It's like a game of geopolitical chess, with powerful players making strategic moves. The Philippines, a Southeast Asian archipelago nation, is no stranger to the delicate balance of power in the region. But this new base raises eyebrows and begs the question, why now? The answer lies in the intricate web of alliances, historical tensions, and economic interests that shape the region. The Philippines, Taiwan, and China are locked in a complex dance, with each nation vying for security and influence. The South China Sea, a vital waterway for global trade, has become a flashpoint for these tensions, with overlapping territorial claims and military posturing. At the heart of the matter is Taiwan, a self-governed island that China claims as its own. The Philippines, located just south of Taiwan, has long been wary of China's growing assertiveness in the region. The new military base, seen by some as a direct response to China's actions, highlights the Philippines' determination to protect its interests and deter potential aggression. The stakes are high, with the potential for miscalculation and escalation. The United States, a longtime ally of the Philippines, is also watching closely. The US has a vested interest in maintaining peace and stability in the region and has pledged its support to the Philippines in the face of Chinese pressure. Let's delve into the history books, shall we? The South China Sea has been a source of tension for centuries, with overlapping claims from China, the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. China's claim is the most expansive, encompassing almost the entire sea within its so-called nine-dash line. This claim, however, is not recognized by international law and has been challenged by other countries, including the Philippines. The Philippines, a former US colony, gained independence in 1946, but the legacy of colonialism left its mark, shaping the country's foreign policy and security outlook. The Philippines has long relied on the US for security, with a mutual defense treaty dating back to 1951. This alliance, however, has been tested in recent years as China's influence in the region has grown. China's growing military might and its assertive actions in the South China Sea have raised concerns in Manila. The Philippines has accused China of militarizing disputed islands, building artificial outposts, and harassing Filipino fishermen. These actions have fueled tensions and prompted the Philippines to seek ways to strengthen its defenses. The Philippines' decision to build a military base near Taiwan is a significant development. It reflects the country's growing concern about China's intentions and its determination to protect its interests. The base, once completed, will enhance the Philippines' ability to monitor Chinese activity in the region and respond to potential threats. The move is also a sign of the shifting geopolitical landscape in the region. The Philippines, under former President Rodrigo Duterte, had pursued a policy of appeasement towards China, downplaying territorial disputes in favor of economic cooperation. However, Duterte's successor, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., has adopted a more assertive stance, strengthening ties with the US and other like-minded countries. The Philippines' decision is likely to further complicate relations with China. Beijing has already expressed its displeasure over the base, accusing the Philippines of stoking tensions and interfering in its internal affairs. China views Taiwan as a breakaway province and has vowed to reunify it with the mainland by force if necessary. The US has welcomed the Philippines' decision, seeing it as a step towards deterring Chinese aggression. The Biden administration has reaffirmed its commitment to the US-Philippines alliance and has pledged to support the Philippines' efforts to modernize its military. Now let's talk about location. The Philippines is strategically positioned in the South China Sea, right at a key choke point. This new base, when operational, will give the Philippines a front-row seat to monitor naval activity in the region. Think of it as having eyes on a busy shipping lane, or maybe a bit like watching a game of geopolitical football unfold. The base is situated in the northern Philippines, just a stone's throw from Taiwan. This proximity to Taiwan is no coincidence. It allows the Philippines to keep a close watch on Chinese military movements in the Taiwan Strait, a narrow waterway that separates mainland China from Taiwan. This strait is a potential flashpoint, and any escalation there could have significant implications for regional security. The base's location also grants the Philippines greater control over its own exclusive economic zone, EEZ. Under international law, a country has sovereign rights over the resources within its EEZ, which extends 200 nautical miles from its coastline. However, China's expansive claims in the South China Sea encroach on the EEZs of several countries, including the Philippines. By establishing a military presence in this area, the Philippines aims to assert its sovereignty and protect its maritime resources. The South China Sea is rich in fish stocks and potentially holds vast reserves of oil and gas. China's growing presence in the region has threatened the Philippines' access to these resources, leading to frequent confrontations between Chinese vessels and Filipino fishermen. The Philippines has consistently challenged China's claims in the South China Sea, seeking a rules-based order based on international law, particularly the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS. This convention, adopted in 1982, establishes a comprehensive legal framework for the oceans, including maritime zones, navigation rights, and resource management. In 2016, the Philippines won a landmark case against China at the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague. The tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines on several key issues, invalidating China's 9-line claim and affirming the Philippines' sovereign rights in its EEZ. China, however, has rejected the ruling, refusing to participate in the arbitration proceedings and dismissing the tribunal's decision as null and void. The Philippines' decision to build a military base near Taiwan can be seen as a way to enforce its rights under UNCLOS and deter further Chinese encroachment. By strengthening its military presence in the region, the Philippines is sending a clear message that it will not back down from defending its sovereignty. This move, however, is not without risks. China has warned against any actions that could complicate the situation in the South China Sea. Some analysts believe that China may respond to the base's construction by increasing its own military activities in the area, leading to a potential escalation of tensions. The Philippines is walking a tightrope, trying to balance its security interests with the need to avoid provoking a conflict with a much larger and more powerful neighbor. So how has the world reacted to the Philippines' bold move? Well, it's caused quite a stir on the global stage. Countries around the world are watching closely, particularly those with a stake in the Indo-Pacific region. The construction of this base is more than just a local affair. It has far-reaching implications for regional stability and the balance of power. Southeast Asian nations, many of whom also have claims in the South China Sea, are carefully observing the situation. Some, like Vietnam, share the Philippines' concerns about China's assertiveness and may see the base as a potential deterrent. Others, however, are wary of provoking China and may prefer to maintain a more neutral stance. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, has long sought to maintain peace and stability in the region, but China's actions have put this delicate balance under strain. The international community is also grappling with the implications of the base for freedom of navigation and overflight in the South China Sea. This vital waterway is a major artery for global trade, and any disruption to shipping lanes could have significant economic consequences. The United States, which has long championed freedom of navigation in the region, has expressed its support for the Philippines' right to defend its territory and has called on China to respect international law. Section 2. The U.S. Factor Balancing Act in the Pacific. The United States, with its long-standing alliance with the Philippines, finds itself in a delicate balancing act. On one hand, the U.S. wants to support its ally and deter Chinese aggression. On the other hand, they don't want to escalate tensions and spark a conflict. It's a difficult line to tread, and the stakes are incredibly high. The U.S. has already increased its military presence in the region, conducting joint patrols and exercises with the Philippines and other partners. Some analysts believe that the U.S. may even seek to utilize the new Philippine base for its own operations, further bolstering its presence in the region. However, such a move would undoubtedly provoke a strong reaction from China. This situation highlights the U.S.'s strategic dilemma in the Indo-Pacific. With China's growing military might and its increasingly assertive posture, the U.S. is under pressure to maintain its dominance in the region. However, any misstep could have catastrophic consequences. The U.S. must carefully calibrate its response, balancing its commitment to its allies with the need to avoid a dangerous escalation. Section 3. China's Response, Red Lines and Rhetoric. Now let's talk about China. Unsurprisingly, they're not too chuffed about this new development. They see it as a direct challenge to their interests and a provocation by the Philippines and its allies. China has already issued stern warnings and condemned the base's construction, but the question remains, how will they respond in a concrete way? China has a history of responding assertively to perceived threats to its interests in the South China Sea. They've conducted military exercises, deployed naval vessels, and even engaged in land reclamation to bolster their claims. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that they might step up their military activities in the area, increasing the risk of an accidental clash or miscalculation. Beyond military maneuvers, China may also choose to respond economically. They're a major trading partner with the Philippines, and they could leverage this economic clout to exert pressure. We might see anything from trade restrictions to investment withdrawals, all aimed at making the Philippines reconsider its actions. Section 4. Economic and Security Implications, a Tangled Web. The economic and security implications of this base are deeply intertwined. The South China Sea is not just a strategic waterway, it's an economic lifeline for many countries, including the Philippines and China. The fear is that heightened tensions could disrupt trade routes, impacting global supply chains and hurting economies across the region. For the Philippines, the base represents a significant investment in their security, but it also carries economic risks. If tensions with China escalate, it could hurt trade, tourism, and investment. The Philippines is walking a tightrope, trying to strike a balance between bolstering its defenses and maintaining economic stability. The situation also has broader implications for regional stability. The South China Sea is already a tinderbox, with overlapping claims and historical grievances. The construction of this base adds another layer of complexity and could fuel an arms race in the region as countries scramble to bolster their military capabilities. The world is watching anxiously, hoping that cooler heads will prevail and a peaceful resolution can be found. Section 1. The Balancing Act, a delicate dance of power. As we've seen, the Philippines' decision to build a military base near Taiwan is a bold move, one that highlights the complex geopolitical chess game being played out in the South China Sea. It's a move driven by a desire for security, a need to protect sovereign territory, and a determination to push back against what's perceived as Chinese assertiveness. This base represents a balancing act for the Philippines. On one hand, they're strengthening their defenses, sending a message of deterrence, and deepening their alliance with the United States. On the other hand, they risk provoking a strong reaction from China, potentially jeopardizing economic ties and escalating tensions in an already volatile region. The situation underscores the challenges faced by smaller nations navigating the complexities of great power rivalry. The Philippines, like many others, is caught between a rock and a hard place, striving to assert its own interests while avoiding getting crushed between competing giants. The world is watching closely, recognizing that the stakes go far beyond just the Philippines and Taiwan. The South China Sea is a global crossroads, and any conflict there would have far-reaching consequences for trade, security, and the international order itself. Section 2, the future of the chessboard, a game of uncertainty. So, what does the future hold? Will this new base deter conflict, or will it become a flashpoint for a larger confrontation? The truth is, no one knows for sure. The situation remains fluid, with no easy answers or guaranteed outcomes. The path ahead depends on a multitude of factors, including the actions of the key players involved: the Philippines, China, the United States, and other regional actors. Diplomacy, dialogue, and a commitment to international law are crucial to finding a peaceful resolution and preventing a dangerous escalation of tensions. The Philippines' decision to build this base is a gamble, a calculated risk aimed at safeguarding their interests in an increasingly uncertain world. Only time will tell whether this gamble pays off or whether it pushes the region closer to the brink. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the geopolitical chessboard, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content and keep wondering. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.